Hello, CQ, CQ, CQ. This is WA4LLR. Dave in Burnsville, North Carolina, calling CQ the Old Friends Net. This net meets 3 times weekly, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m. and Sunday afternoons at 4 p.m. on this frequency. The net is carried out in the Amplitude Modulation mode in a roundtable format. The net is mainly catering to vintage equipment, but any station that can generate an AM signal is welcome to participate. So, any station that would like to check into the Old Friends Net, give WA4LLR a call and come now.
N4LQ.
K4JAL.
KN4R.
WB4NKL.
KZ4 Bravo.
K3OS.
Okay, so far we have N4LQ, K4JAL, KN4R, WB4NKL, KZ4B, and K3OS. Anyone else? Okay, one more time down the list. N4LQ, K4JAL, KN4R, WB4NKL, KZ4B, and K3OS. Any other station? Okay, well, hearing none, good morning to everybody. Hope everyone had an excellent Christmas celebration. Had too much to eat and too much fun. Anyway, let's see here. We've got about 34 degrees and mostly clear up here in the eastern jungles of Yancey County. Running the BC 610C again and receiving on the BC 342N. So we'll go ahead and get started and see what's going on down in Shelby. I hope you had a great Christmas. Steve, N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Absolutely. WA4LLR, N4LQ, running the 3-500. It's, look, the sun's trying to come up out there. I guess it's clear today, but looks like rain coming in for the weekend, and everything's looking up. So I'll go ahead and pass it around. K4JAL, N4LQ.
N4LQ, K4JAL. Well, merry after Christmas Day. I guess a lot of people were just ate too well and had too much fun yesterday. There's only 7 on here this morning. I'm on the ART-13 again. That's my go-to. We'll just have to get out of bed to come in here and pull a few knobs, and it's up ready to go. So there you go. Good to hear you, Brian. KM4R, K4JAL. Over to you.
Okay, Jimmy, very good. K4JAL and the Old Friends. And Brian, KN4R, 34 degrees here in Searles Ford. I'm on the Globe Champ 350, which actually has its case on now and still working, and listening on Old Black HRO. So good. I'm glad everybody so far had a great Christmas. We did as well. Main thing is we're just washing a bunch of dishes now. I think I'm on my 6th load, and we've got like 15 catfish off the dock, and they have been eating good from table scraps and that kind of thing. So they're really enjoying the holiday. So over to you, Cliff. WB4NKL in the group. KN4R.
Yeah, KN4R, WB4NKL. Good deal, Brian. Sounding good. Everybody's got a good signal into Tennessee here this morning. Had a good Christmas, and it's going to take a while to recover. I have to walk a few extra miles. running a Johnson 500. Well, Dave's Johnson 500 this morning, and getting ready to button it up. Bring it to the luncheon there next week, I guess. Return it to its owner. I think this one's at Lee's K4VWD's old 500. So everybody, like I say, everybody's coming in good, and I'll send it on around. Go ahead, John, KZ4V WB4NKL.
Okay, WB4NKL and the group. This is KZ4B Fine Business Cliff. Pretty good conditions this morning. Steve, oh, by the way, we're running the T150 as usual, driving a Meritron AL82, and that in turn is feeding a resonant 80-meter dipole at the end of a long piece of coax. So that's the setup here. And Steve, I have a question. You said you're running a 3500Z. Is that like in a linear AL80B, or is that a Class C file? In which case, please describe it in more detail. So, and we will pass it on over to Gary. K3OS in the group, KZ4B, over.
Hey, John, morning. KZ4B, K3OS. Looking outside, overcast this morning, and a happy day after Christmas. Excuse me. Running the Kenwood twins this morning. And thanks, Jimmy, for the other day. Report on these. It's what I was running the other day on Tuesday. Into the ALS 600 solid state amp. Running about 100 watts here, 100 and a quarter, somewhere in that vicinity. The only thing I'm sorry I didn't come back last Tuesday. I had to take a cat to the vet. I can tell you for certain that the vet, by virtue of the size of his bill, had a great Christmas, and my pocketbook is substantially lessened by that visit. Oh my gosh. Back up to you, Dave. You're pounding in here, by the way. WA4LLR, K3OS.
All right, fine business, Gary. Any other stations for the old friends? Come now. Okay, I guess everybody is in recovery mode. K3OS, WA4LR. Boy, I tell you, I understand that. Pet medical expenses can sometimes rival human medical expenses. So, my sympathy. Kenwood twins sound great, and the T150 sounds good. John, I was running mine on the earlier net, but I switched over to the 610 for this one since it was pre-tuned. And let's see here. Cliff, correction on the 500. That was not Lee's, that was Ray's, W4VRO. I've got Lee's AF68 PMR8, but that was VRO's 500. Let's see, Brian. The Globe Champ sounds good with its clothes on. That's great. I remember I remember it used to hum a song, but if you put its clothes on before. Fine business on feeding the catfish. Well, we were fortunate. We were able to get the dishes washed up before bed last night. And Jim, the ART13 sounds good as always. And yes, Steve, I'm also curious on, you said you were running the 3500. I'm assuming that's following some kind of exciter. Yeah, we had a good Christmas get-together yesterday afternoon at my daughter's house. As always, there was a tremendous quantity of excessive amounts of food. Every year, my daughter says, "Now listen, I'll take care of the food. Everybody else just show up." My wife cannot do that. And I said, listen, honey, how about this year we just maybe do one dish to take and be rested? But no, there's got to be several pies, several loaves of homemade bread, humongous amount of green beans, and it just goes on from there. So by the time we transport all that, I'm exhausted. But it was good. And the grandkids had a Nerf gun war raging, and my oldest son got in the middle of that and created havoc, and Lord, they had it was a screaming good time. Don in 4YN came and celebrated with us, so it was good to have him along. Anyway, let's see here. We've just got a short number of folks today, so we'll head back around. Stephen enlighten us on the rest of the story down there. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Okay, WA4LLR, N4LQ. Well, it is 2 3500s, and I'm modulating it with an illegal SDR transmitter, but it gets me on the air. So running, let's see what the carrier is, 280 watts carrier. Well, Gary, glad your cat survived. It sounds like you were relieved of some dollars, so that's good for the vet. It's good for the economy, actually, to keep that money circulating. And I'm sure the veterinary office was well pleased with your contribution. And I hope your cat's feeling better. I wonder if they did some surgery on that cat. Anyway, everybody's sounding good, especially Brian on the champ. I don't hear any hums, so I think that's over with, and I understand you got it back in the cabinet, and it's still transmitting. So that's good, and sounds great. So let's see, we're having a good time at night on 160. Hardly anybody shows up these days. I think we had 3 people last night. Boy, it's gotten scarce or sparse. So don't forget tonight at 8 o'clock on 1864. If you can manage to show up, we would certainly be glad to have you. With that, I will turn it over to Jimmy on his ART 13 K4JAL, N4LQ.
N4LQ in the group, K4JAL. Well, I can't make it to the 160. I used to enjoy doing that with you guys, but my wife worked then till 9 o'clock at night. She gets off at 5 now, so we're hanging around the house. Too bad. I don't have a 160 over here where we live, so that leaves me out. I got to get down in the basement and clear off a place to put my new 3D printer. I don't know why she did that. It looks expensive. It's heavier than heck. But she may be wanting me to make some doodads. I don't know. But I don't know a thing about them. This is made by an outfit called Creation something. I can't pronounce it the way they spell it, so there you go. But I guess I'll find out. When are you going to eat those catfish, Brian? It sounds like you're raising a good stock of them. Over to you. KN4R, K4JAL.
K4JAL in the group, KN4R. Well, first of all, let me say all the signals sound unbelievable here. I'm just got the RF gain turned all the way up, and I'm just sitting here watching the S meter on the HRO. Not dancing around too much, but it's trying to pin itself, especially when Steve and Dave are transmitting. But anyway, it's a joy being here. And Jimmy, congratulations on the new 3D printer. I think we all probably have some small parts we need manufactured. So I cannot wait to until you figure out how to use that new thing. So let's see. Yeah, the catfish. You know, my wife and I, we get real quiet every time a fisherman comes around the dock. But we have got a great bunch of catfish out there, and they're big too. And the last couple of days, they've been eating really, really well. So they don't seem to be too picky either. So. And I can't wait to see Ray's Johnson 500. I haven't seen one in the flesh in a long time. So sounds like Dave has resurrected yet another rig for one of the Old Friends members. And Gary, congratulations on the cat surviving, I assume, but I'm sorry that your wallet did not, and I know that feeling well. So, and Steve, you fixed the hum issue on this thing, so it probably has other elements, but hum is not one of them, thank goodness. So, over to you, Cliff. WB4NKL in the group, KN4R.
Yeah, KN4R, it's WB4NKL. Okay, Brian, it sounds great. Got all its problems straightened out there. That's good to get them back in the cabinet. Dave, I knew this was Ray's radio. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess the V call come to my mind, VWD, VRO, and I just picked the wrong one out this early in the morning. So yeah, I knew it come from Ray. So miss those guys, both of them. And not too much else going on here. Try to get out here and walk some of this extra calories off today. And let's see, running the R75 ICOM receiver, it was easy to pick up and move over here to where the Johnson 500 was at on the bench. It's got synchronous AM. Everybody's locking in there on it, so everybody's sounding good, 20 to 40 over on it, without the preamp on. Go ahead, John, KZ4B, WB4NKL.
Okay, WB4NKL in the group. This is KZ4B, Fine Business Cliff, coming in great as usual. And Brian, your rig really sounds good this morning. Excellent audio, lots of beef. Gary, I feel your pain. Back in the early 70s, not long after I got married, my wife and I adopted a stray cat that showed up, and it got an infection right at the base of its tail, where the tail goes into the cat. And I took it to the vet, and it cost me $100, which would be like $1,000 today. And it was such a shock, because I mean, this is just a free old stray cat. So I get the cat home, it gets in another cat fight, gets another infection, and I say, okay, I'm not going back to the vet. I cannot afford this. The cat is not worth it. So I got a razor blade out. It had a big infectious boil on top of his tail, and I lanced the boil, which didn't hurt the cat at all, because you know it was just skin. And the cat got better, and I didn't take it back to the vet. But the cat was so pissed off that I did the operation that it ran away from home, and I never saw it again. So that's my cat story. Shifting gears, my daughter fed my flashlight fetish. I love guns, knives, and flashlights. And she gave me a weapons grade blowtorch, 5,000 lumen flashlight that has a rechargeable battery pack you can put in it, or there's a regular battery pack that takes a gazillion AA batteries. It's a unbelievably bright thing. So that was the, that's what Santa Claus brought me. So anyway, that's the news from here. Speaking of catfish, my next door neighbor buys tons of deer corn and puts it out for the geese. So we have on an average day somewhere between 50 and 100 geese that show up. And there's so many geese that I live next door to this guy. So, you know, they overwhelm my yard. The guy on the other side, the opposite side from the goose collector. And so we get overrun with geese. And of course they're very messy little animals, and my dog thinks that goose poop is perfume. So we can't let the dog out. We have to be careful. So that's the what's going on here on Lake Norman. So over to you, Gary. K3OS and the group KZ4B, over.
All right, John, KZ4B, K3OS. Well, I'm glad they're fellow animal lovers here. Jeepers. Yeah, well, they had to do an ultrasound. It wasn't a surgical procedure. They did an ultrasound on the abdominal section, and found some gallstones, which I don't think are the problem here, and perhaps some, I think we're treating her for that. We will be starting that, but the first treatment is for irritable bowel syndrome in a cat. She has basically kind of stopped eating. She's about 14 years old. And so we've got her on an appetite stimulant, and now we're giving her a shot a day of some steroid. So that I'm doing. Fortunately, that's a under the skin shot. It's not into the muscle, so that I can do. Learn to do that. So anyway, yeah, it was a staggering bill, but cat has finally started to eat again. But of course, she's under. Interesting. The appetite stimulant is a paste you rub in their ear, and it gets absorbed through the skin. And hopefully, the steroid shot will continue to stimulate her appetite and cure some of the problem that she's got, which was the appetite loss to begin with. Anyway, so thanks for your condolences. I wish this were the only bill we've had with her, but in the past couple of months it's been pretty staggering. But they're part of the family, I guess, and you do what you need to do. But I'm telling you, yeah, the vet had a really good Christmas. Unbelievable. So, let's see. Nothing else crazy going on. We had a nice Christmas. We were all alone yesterday. Went out, had a nice dinner here at the house, and day went out looking at lights, Christmas lights last night. Saw some really nice things. Also went over. I don't know whether some of you guys east of me here, down to Tanglewood in outside of Winston. Last week. Man, that's miles worth of light show. It's quite interesting. It took us about an hour and a half with all the traffic to get through, but it was well worth the trip down there. Went down, took a couple of friends with us. So, Christmas is over, and we move on here. WA4LLR in the group K3OS.
Fine business, Gary. Do we have any other late check-ins for the old friends? Come now.
W4MEC finally made it.
All right, there is Charlie. Charlie, go ahead and tell us what's going on out there in the Hendersonville area. W4MEC, WA4LR.
In the group W4MEC, well, it's 32 and partly cloudy. I can tell you that much. And interesting antenna. It's off resonance. I wonder if it's wet. Anyhow, we got in here on the beginning of your second round there where you were talking about. So we got our list right there. That's one thing about showing up late at that point. You don't have any scratch throughs and arrows pointing that this guy's down here, not there. So
So we copied everybody just fine, and we had a good Christmas here too. I missed the 6-meter net on Tuesday. I sent email. I was looking forward to that, but my wife and I had a hectic day, and we went out about 7:30 looking for some place to eat. The only place we could find was a Burger King, and we had to sit in the car. The dining room was closed, but we did get some food. And she had no intentions of cooking. She said, nope, we're going to go find something. So, let's see, the grandkids had a great Christmas, and everybody in the family had a great Christmas. Went over last night to the son and daughter-in-law's house, which was more like 723 feet versus 723 miles, like we had driven many times. So that was easy. And let's see, Goose. I wonder, John, if the Goose guy is the same guy with the solar panels that are giving you grief, or if he's on the other side of your house. So if it's the solar panel guy, I tell you, he's just raining down on top of you. So, and cats. Yeah, we had a cat that had surgery here last Friday. And it was Friday. Can't remember what day it was now. I think it was Friday. Yeah, Friday morning. And he had, we thought he got clawed in the face in a tussle by his brother or something months ago, and he just had a little spot on his head, and he would heal up and scab over, and then it'd fall out, and just in a short period of time, the thing got concerningly larger, and so we had brought him in, and they took it out. I had to shave his side of his head and cut that thing out, and then stitch it back together. So he's a little bit Quasimodo-like in the face there, but it's slowly the skin. It was in the hide, it wasn't in the muscle. So the skin is stretching back, and his right face is starting to look more like himself, and his fur will grow back. But his brother did not like it, and they had him in one of those cones that they put around their heads. You want to see something that's weird, is put a cone on a cat, and we decided after the first night that he wasn't bothering it, so we left the cone off, and it's worked out well. He hadn't messed with it, he hadn't scratched it, or nobody else has bothered it, but that first night with the cone on, he terrorized everybody with that thing. And his brother is finally not wary of him. He would hiss at him and run away and all that for the first couple of days there. So he settled back down. I guess he smelled like vet. I don't know. All right. So anyway, that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. WA4LLR in the group W4MEC.
All right, fine business, Charlie. Any other late check-ins? Come now.
WB4ARK.
Well, hello there, Mr. Buddy. WB4ARK, go ahead and tell us something and send it back.
WA4LLR, WB4ARK. Well, we had a very nice Christmas, very quiet Christmas. We had nobody over. We went to my son's house, celebrated Christmas down there at his place, and which is only about I don't know, 5, 6, 8 miles away, and exchanged gifts, and then came back home and fixed our supper. We had a very quiet day. It was we got up I got up early, Linda got up a little bit later, and so the cats got a little gift, and then we had our gift exchange, and so that was about it. Nice day. It was chilly out, but it was, I think it got up into the 50s. And today, I guess it's going to get up about the same. It started off about 34 degrees this morning, and So it looks like it's going to be another nice day. It's kind of partly cloudy. A little few scattered clouds up there. That's about it. So I hope everybody had a great Christmas, and we'll look forward to a new year coming up here soon. So we'll send it back to Dave, WA4LLR, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy, fine business. Any other late check-ins? Come now. All right, I guess that has us for the moment. Well, quiet Christmases are a good thing. The older I get, the better I like quiet activities. Ours was not too quiet when all the grandkids got into the Nerf war. It was very, very loud, and my oldest son, I think, was the main instigator of it. So we had a lot of laughs. Charlie found business on a much shorter Christmas trip this year. I think you said 700 feet or something. We went a little further. We went about half a mile, but not bad. And Gary, sorry about the bowel issues for the cat. Yeah, cats and dogs become family members, so yeah. I know what you mean. And John, 50 to 100 geese. My goodness. And the cat left home after the surgery. Well, sorry about that, but I guess that saved you some money in the future. Brian, I hope the catfish are able to evade the fishermen down there. Jimmy, good deal on the 3D printer. I think Rick, WK4R, is kind of a guru with 3D printers. He might be able to give you a few pointers if you need them. And Steve, okay on the illegal SDR. It's sounding good anyway. Let's see here. Sun's picked up some pretty good activity. We got some new spots that have rotated around the limb. Sunspot count's 218, solar flux index is 253, and the K is 0.67, so the geomagnetic field is real stable, and the solar flux is high, so we got wonderful band conditions this morning. I mean, the band's quiet as a mouse here, and everybody's got a strong signal. A few things from this day in history. On this day in 2004, a tremendous earthquake took place off the island of Sumatra, producing a tsunami that swamped coastal areas from Thailand to Africa. It took the lives of more than 200,000 people. Man, that was something else. On this day in 2021, E.O. Wilson, American biologist, passed away. He was the world's leading authority on ants. On this day in 2006, Gerald Ford, 38th President of the United States, passed away. And he was the only chief executive who was not elected as either president or vice president. On this day in 1985, the body of Dian Fossey, the world's leading authority on mountain gorillas, was found in Rwanda. On this day in 1963, the Beatles' single "I Want to Hold Your Hand" was their first big hit released in the United States. On this day in 1943, the German battlecruiser Scharnhorst was sunk by the British battleship Duke of York in World War II. And on this day in 1791, English mathematician and inventor Charles Babbage, the one who is credited with conceiving the first automatic digital computer, was born. So there you go from this day in history. So let's go back down to Shelby, N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. I gotta say, this is the most humorous edition of the Old Friends Net I've ever been on. I don't know. I'm not sure why, but I have a habit of picturing things mentally that people are talking about, and this cat stuff has got me going. You rub this stuff on a cat's ear, and he gets hungry. That's I looked that up, and it's called Marataz. Yeah, Mirataz, and they tell you to wear gloves when you're putting it on the cat's ear, but it doesn't have any effect on humans. So I'm wondering why you should even care. But this stuff has side effects, and it says the most common adverse effects on the cat, I guess, is vocalization, hyperactivity, and vomiting. So the cat starts screaming and running around the house and then throws up. Boy, I don't know. And Buddy, did you say that you gave the cats a gift? I'm going to go back and listen to the recording, but I think that's what you said. May have misunderstood you. But John takes the cake, man. That was where the tail goes into the cat. And I got to find out about the flashlight. I do like flashlights like you do. Probably not quite as bad, but I like them bright like that. So tell us what the brand name is and the model number so I can look it up. I like fans, and I like vacuum cleaners. I have a habit of buying a new vacuum cleaner every couple of years just to find out how good it is. And I've been buying Shark vacuum cleaners, and boy, those things are something else. And the last one I bought does not get dog hairs stuck in the roller. They've invented a way to keep that from happening, or even wife hair doesn't get stuck in it. It just sucks them up and puts them in the containers. So that is one of the best things, because I used to spend quite a bit of time with a razor knife and scissors and stuff trying to get a hair out of the vacuum cleaner roller. So there you go. I'm not going to take any more time. I'll turn it over to well, let's see. Jimmy's still here. Brian's probably out there feeding his pet fish. But you do sound good, Brian. Over to Jimmy. K4JAL, N4LQ.
N4LQ, K4JAL. I agree with you, Steve. This has been a humorous net, and one could say a neurotic net. But anyway, I'm sure that you're one of the best husbands that ever lived. Anybody will get down there and curry dog hair and wife hair out of the vacuum cleaner is a stellar operator. Dave, I'm glad you got Don fed. The community will be at ease on that. I got to go ride the elliptical. Maybe I'll find a spot to put that 3D printer. And John, you are the king of, I'm tempted to say weird, but I'm not going to say that. But maybe you could use, I had an experience with geese at Rochester Hills, Michigan. I used to work for a firm up there, and they were invaded by geese, and you could not get in that place without getting geese poop on you. I hated those things. Not that I'm against geese, I'm just against being where they are. And maybe you could use that powerful flashlight as a warning device for them, keep them off your landing area. That would be good. Over to you, Brian. KN4R, K4JAL.
Okay, Jimmy. K4JAL in the group. KN4R. Yep. John, my brother-in-law had brought me a whole big pack of country ham that had gone bad, so I actually sat out on the porch and cut it into pieces, and got 3 or 4 bags of it, and my wife fed the catfish the first bag yesterday, and at one point the geese noticed us, about 20 of them, and they started heading our way. But luckily, they are still wild, and they would not get too close to us, which is a really good thing. So I feel for you, and I'm also interested to find out if the solar panel neighbor is the same as the geese neighbor. So when I was a kid, I loved to play flashlight wars, and we lived right across the street from a small city park called Shamrock Park, and it was surrounded by street lights, and we learned how to kick the street lights at the base, and that would make the light reset. So we'd have like 10 or 15 minutes of better darkness to play flashlight war with. Of course, our flashlights were pretty crappy. The other thing is about cats. Just the last 3 days here, at about 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 to 7:30, a fox comes and goes across our backyard, which is no small task because we're at the end of a peninsula and we got fences and all that kind of stuff. But I figure he's hunting rabbits. We got rabbits around here. But if anybody happens to have a cat, a neighbor's cat or whatever, bring it over, and Mr. Fox will probably take care of it. So, been a great net. I'll hang in till the end. Take it away, Cliff. WB4NKL in the group. KN4R.
KN4R is WB4NKL. Okay, Brian, good copy all the way around. Band's in excellent condition. And Buddy was talking about his pets getting the gifts. That always happens here when we had pets. The wife always had gifts for the pets too. And I think last night I think she had a present for the grand cat. So they get included like one of the family. And good morning to Buddy. I guess the present I got that I'm going to try out here maybe next day or two is a heated vest. It's got a rechargeable battery. So try that out on some of these cool days trying to walk. Maybe that'll help out some. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign, and I've got it up to 57 degrees out here, but still a little chilly, so I'm going back in the house. And Steve, I'll try to make 160 tonight. We won't have company, I don't think, and the temperature should be warmer, so try to get out here for the 160 net. 73s, thanks for calling it, Dave, and we'll try to catch everybody Sunday. Go ahead, John. KZ4B, WB4NKL.
Okay, WB4NKL and the group, this is KZ4B. Fine business, Cliff. Great signal as always. Steve, that flashlight is about a foot long, somewhere between 1 1/4 and 1 1/2 in diameter, except at the end with the LEDs, and it's about 2 inches across. But it's called an Infinity, INFINITY, X-Ray Tango, Infinity XT. I just only had time to grab the flashlight. I didn't have time to grab the book to see what the part number was, but it says 5,000 lumens, and it's all there. I mean, this thing is a torch. And I'm guessing, although I didn't ask my daughter where she got it, she does a lot of shopping at Costco. So I'm guessing that that's probably where she got it. And so it might be in their inventory. But it is the interesting thing about it, usually these high-powered lights are rechargeable only, but this one has 2 cartridges. You screw off the tail end, and you can either load it with a cartridge that has rechargeable batteries, and it charges off I think the 5-volt USB, and or it has this huge cartridge that has a gazillion AA batteries. So you can, and it came with the batteries in it. And I mean, I didn't count them, but it's a bunch. But it's quite an impressive flashlight. I think if somebody shined it in your face, that you would be blinded for quite a while. I shined it on the ceiling, and it's just this side of welding, and it's unbelievable. So that's the deal on the flashlight. And yeah, I believe Dave made the comment, the cat did cut me some slack by running away from home, but having invested so much in the cat, you know, it was kind of a double-edged sword. It's kind of like you buy a new Cadillac and it runs away from home. But anyway, I digress. Well, I hope everybody has a great holiday, what's left of it, and we had a good time, and I ate too much. I was getting to the place where I could wear some pretty slim pants, but I think I may be doing that concept in, because I definitely have an appetite. And so I don't know how long it'll take me to recover from the holidays. So on that note, on over to Gary, the man with the money. Used to have, that is. See you later. K3OS and the group KZ4B clear but listening.
KZ4B, K3OS. Yeah, thanks guys for all your comments. Yeah, Steve, that's the stuff we've been giving the cat. It's a paste you rub in the ear, but she fortunately does not, and this is not the first time, so she doesn't have the side effects, but it does stimulate the appetite. I don't know how that works, and it's specifically, I read the data sheet that comes with it is specifically for cats, but you can only give it to them for so many days in a row. So we're hoping that the shot we're giving her every day is that's the goal here, is gonna get her well, and she won't need that stimulant anymore. Anyway, with that, enough cat talk. Everybody, flashlights. Oh my gosh, my wife will tell you about me and flashlights too. Must be a guy thing, right? Can't go into a store without looking at flashlights. Dave, back over to you. Everybody sounding good, and have a great week. We'll catch everybody on Sunday. WA4LLR, K3OS.
Okay, 7-3 to you, Gary. Let's turn it to Charlie and then to Buddy. W4MEC, WA4LR.
Okay, K3OS and WA4LR, W4MEC. Real good. Here's something neither my wife or I knew about cats, is cats meow to each other, kittens to mother. After that, they no longer meow. Of course, you hear them in fights, but that isn't really meow. The only time a cat meows is when it can interact with a human. So we did not know that. So if your cat's meowing, he's trying to tell you something. Printers, 3D printer. My son got a 3D printer. His wife bought him one for Christmas, and it's a Voodoo or Broodoo or Hoodoo. I don't know what the thing is, but very interesting packaging. It's one that came with filaments, and the filament feed was actually down inside of the printer, so we actually had to undo screws and do all these kind of things to get the feed system out and to mount it to the top and all that. It was rather interesting how they got it all into one package in a small box. So it's an impressive looking little gadget. And some of them are, basically a couple of steel rods that raise and lower the table. But this thing has got a cabinet and everything. But he was reading about it, and I was telling him some things that I had learned about them. Not that I ever want to do that, but I read about in my hobby interest, other than radio, a lot of fellows use them to make custom things in their hobbies or replacement parts. And from what I gather, one of the most important things is the setup of the printer, the table being dead level to the nozzle, and they have to know exactly where 000 is at the start of the print. And a lot of fellows are talking about the methods to make sure that you're at that coordinate 000 before you hit print. But anyway, it looks interesting, so he'll make a few things for me maybe one day. And when I had to look up, I've never looked this up before, but lumens to candle power conversion, and there's 12.57 lumens to 1 candle power. So your flashlight there, John, is about 400 candle power, and that's interesting. I have got a spotlight, and the reason I bought it is I had one at work many years ago, and it's supposed to be 1 million candle power, and plugged into the cigarette lighter in my truck at work. And I would take that thing, and I had a road that I went down. It was about 7 miles of log road to get to a remote site down in Okefenokee Swamp, and I would bring that light when I got called out at midnight and 2 in the morning. And I just drive out the road and shine that thing into the woods. And I did not know that is considered jacklighting. Even though I did not have any firearm to hunt with, they still consider it jacklighting, and you can be fined for it if the game warden is out at 2 in the morning looking for you. But anyway, what amazed me was driving along that road and the number of eyes that looked back that would light up by that thing. And it wasn't the ones that were close to the ground that were so interesting, it's the ones that were way high up in the air. So deer and other stuff staring back at you, I guess. But just amazing how many critters are out there staring at you when you're driving through the woods at night. So, and yeah, a fox will kill a cat, and that you got to be careful. Most of the time they don't; they'll run away. But and besides human beings, fox is the only animal that kills for fun, and so I always found that little factoid interesting. So they might just kill your cat just for the heck of it. So anyway, got to be careful with the night critters, that's for sure. WB4ARK in the group W4, let me see.
WB4ARK, W4MEC, WB4ARK, I want to be sure I had it. Well, I would appreciate it if someone happens to have a spare Collins mechanical filter. That would be a 2.1 kc mechanical filter. They're typically black, and they have plugs, 3-pin plugs, and a screw terminal on each end, where they plug in laterally, I guess you would say, instead of linearly. So the filters are typically, I don't know, 2.5 inches long and about 5/8 of an inch square. So if anybody has one, 455 2.1 kc filter, I would appreciate it. I had one that one end has opened up on the unit. Yeah, we always buy our cats Christmas presents, Steve. Sure do. They always get something, and they typically appreciate it too. So that's about it. We'll say 73. Everybody have a great rest of the week up until next week when we get ready for the big New Year's. So this is over to WA4LLR. This is WB4ARK.
All right, buddy, fine business. Well, let's see here. I hope somebody can turn up a Collins filter for you. And that's interesting on the flashlight, John. Funny, I looked it up on Amazon, and you know, anytime you pull something up, they show you a bunch of other options, and yours was listed as a 5,000 lumen. One of the others that popped up for the same price, a CINLINSO Sinlinso brand, and it's advertised as 990,000 lumens. Somehow I don't believe that. But it looks like it's about the, well, it might be slightly bigger than the one you mentioned. But 990,000 lumens. Yeah, okay. Well, let's see here. Cliff signed, John signed, Gary signed, and Buddy signed. We'll do a quick 73 round before we head out today. So let's see, Steve, Jimmy, Brian, and Charlie are left. So, Brian, you'll turn it down to Charlie. So, quick 73 round. N4LQ, WA4LR.
N4LQ. Yeah, I looked on that Infinity XT, looked on their website, and they've got a 7,000, and I was trying to find it on Amazon, but here's one flashlight. It says it's 100,000. Range, long range is 5,000 feet. I don't know. I guess the sky's the limit. But I was thinking about that appetite stimulant and what you could do, Dave, next Christmas at one of those gluttonous feasts that you go to, you could sneak and put a little bit on everybody's ear, and that would get rid of the food real fast. Say, you know, walk up behind them and say, oh, you got something on your ear. Let me flick it off here and just put a little dab on their ear. And that'd make the party more interesting, wouldn't it? Anyway, with that, I'll say 73s, and it's been a fun net. Over to Jimmy, K4JAL, N4LQ.
N4LQ, K4JAL. That's Steve is creating, that's for sure. I got to go get on the elliptical, and I ain't looking forward to that. Hope everybody digests yesterday well and has a good tomorrow. K4JAL saying 7-3. Over to you, Brian, KN4R.
Okay, Jimmy, very good. Well, 73s, everybody. Really enjoyed the net today. Hope everybody has a nice post-Christmas day, and look forward to talking to you guys again tonight on the 160 net. 73s, KN4R, and take it away, Charlie.
Hey, Brian, KN4R. W4MEC, real good, and that's 79,000 candle power, that 990,000, so still got a way to go, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get out there to 1864 here in the evening here if I ever break away from stuff, so good to talk to you fellas this morning. We'll look for you on Sunday. Let's see, I'm tailing Charlie, so 7-3 all, and WA4LR the group, W4MEC.
All righty, gentlemen. Thank you for your participation in the net today. Wonderful signals, a lot of fun. So, Lord willing, we'll catch up with you on Sunday. 7-3, God bless.